We're gonna do the snapper slider from Depot. Been on the menu since day one. Sold, literally, we would have sold over 1 million. Nearly everybody who comes to Depot has the fish sliders. So I've got some rocket, you could use watercress, some fresh lemons from the garden, those are both from the garden, some mayonnaise, preserved lemon. This is Julie Leclerc, she's one of my food heroes. She makes beautiful preserves. So we're gonna use a bit of that. We've got obviously some fresh snapper fillet. I've taken the skin off these two. And the original slider bun. So the slider really is all about the bun. And this is a really, really soft white roll. Here's a little trick for you. See, these are all joined. Instead of cutting them individually, I'm just going to come through the center like that. And open it up as one, like that. It's the little things about cooking that make all the difference. And so heating the bun is all part of it, and buttering it on the inside and the outside just makes it that little bit more special, and it looks $1 million. And we'll do that just a little bit, and we'll get some color on there. Boom. Get that like that. So for the preserved lemon mayo, if you make your own mayo, good on you. I love making mayo too, but I also dig this stuff. Now, if you're going to do this a lot, you can make quite a bit. So why don't we use that whole, and it can just be in the fridge, this whole jar of preserved lemon mayo. And look, you don't have to use it just for sliders. You can use it on vegetables, potato, any sort of fish. But it's something about this. Oh, Julie! Put it on too tight. Here we go. So with preserved lemons, they look a bit gicky because all they've been is they've just been sitting in salt. And you don't use the middle, you just use the outside, the skin of the preserved lemon. I mean, you could use the other part, but traditionally that's all you use. So I'm just going to chop this nice and fine. And it's really, it's a flavor bomb. Now we'll go across it. So just lovely little bits of preserved lemon. And it's strong. And you've heard me say it before, and I'll say it again. Cooking is all about tasting and then adding some more. But you can't, if I put too much preserved lemon there, I can't get it out. So I always err on slightly less, but I think that's going to be about right anyway. I like to add a little bit of fresh zest as well. Now stir it up. A little squeeze, lemony, salty, well. Creamy. See the little lumps in there? It's the preserved lemon. And the longer that sits in there, the more the flavour will go through that. But that tastes frickin' delicious already. I'm allowed to say frickin' delicious? I think so. Bit more lemon juice. But you see, I'm just tasting. I think it just needs a little bit more. I need a grinder pepper, a little bit of salt. And that is our preserved lemon mayonnaise. I caught 2 snapper yesterday, and these have been on ice. I like to keep them on ice overnight before I fillet them. But the thing with the slider is, it's kind of this vehicle to stretch the catch. So you don't need a lot of fish. So I'll probably need a bit of the bigger one, but I'm going for, so that's a piece. I think that's a piece. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to brown the buns, get them nice and warm, put them in the oven. Super simple. Then we'll cook the fish, then we'll assemble, and then we will eat. This really is so much about the secret to the dish, why it eats so well, is the really, really, really soft. You would call it a milk bun, really, I guess. And the slider, I first wrote down the word slider when I was in a sports bar in Boston, when I was about 24 years old and I was learning to cook, and I wrote it down and I said, oh, slider, that's a good name for something, and it was a little cheeseburger. And then that just sat in one of my diaries for a long, long time, and when we went to open Depot, I suddenly went, oh, I remember those little cheeseburgers called sliders. And the rest is history. Those are our buns. They're going to go into the oven just to stay warm. Now we've got a nice hot pan for the fish. I'm going to season with a little bit of salt and some pepper, a bit of oil. Thicker pieces first. They are pretty much done. Beautiful warm buns. Mayo. Bit of rocket. So there it is. That is it. That's the Depot Snapper Slider. If you catch some fish, do this. Or buy it. Make sure you get the soft slider rolls. Bit of rocket, bit of preserved lemon and mayo. Happy day. So frickin' good.